Senior health tips. What if I told you that some of the most ordinary daily habits could slowly steal away the strength in your legs, leaving you weaker and more at risk of falling as the years go by? Most people think it takes a big accident or a sudden illness to lose mobility. But in truth, it is the small repeated actions or inactions that shape how well we walk, stand, and stay independent as we grow older. I've spent over 4 decades listening to seniors share their struggles. And I can tell you this, the habits that feel harmless at first often become the very chains that keep them from living freely. Imagine sitting in your favorite chair thinking you are just relaxing, when in reality, your muscles are shrinking little by little. Or imagine choosing a light meal day after day, not realizing your body is starving for the building blocks it needs to stay strong. This is why today's conversation matters so much. We are going to uncover 5 hidden habits that quietly weaken the legs of older adults. Habits I see all too often in my patients. Some of them may surprise you because they are things almost everyone does without a second thought. Before we dive in, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed moments when your legs felt weaker than before, even though nothing dramatic happened? Type 1 in the comments if yes or 0 if no. I promise we read and respond to every single message, and if you truly want to stay strong, mobile, and independent, make sure you subscribe to Dr. Morrison right now. That way, you will never miss the practical advice and heartfelt stories we share together. When you think about senior healthcare weakness in the legs, most people imagine aging itself as the main cause. But the truth is, one of the biggest culprits is simply sitting too much. Long hours in a chair might feel harmless, but they quietly rob your muscles of their strength. Scientists call this process sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle that accelerates when we stop using those muscles. A study from the National Institutes of Health shows that after the age of 60, people who remain inactive can lose up to 3% of their muscle mass each year. That might sound small, but over just a few years, it can make the difference between walking confidently and needing a cane. Take Mr. Harold, a retired mail carrier from Indiana, age 74. After decades of walking miles each day on his route, retirement felt like well-earned rest. He enjoyed sitting in his recliner with the morning paper, then hours of television in the afternoon. He thought he was simply giving his body a break. But within 2 years, he noticed something unsettling. His thighs had grown thinner. His calves cramped more often, and even climbing a single flight of stairs left him breathless. At his checkup, his doctor explained that sitting had weakened the large muscles in his legs and slowed blood circulation. The tingling and weakness he felt were not random. They were the price of too much stillness. The encouraging news is that reversing this does not require an expensive gym membership. What makes a difference is building in small, regular breaks. Research from the American Heart Association suggests that standing up and moving for just 5 to 10 minutes every 30 to 45 minutes improves circulation and slows muscle loss. For Mr. Harold, the change began with something simple, setting a kitchen timer. Each time it rang, he stood, stretched, and walked around his house. Soon he added short strolls to the mailbox, then around the block. Within months, his strength and balance noticeably improved. Think of it this way. Every time you stand up, you send blood rushing back into your muscles, reminding them to stay alive and active. Every short walk is like a small deposit into your mobility bank, building reserves that will serve you years from now. Even light chores, watering plants, folding laundry, or tidying the kitchen can serve as powerful mini workouts when you break up long sitting spells. So, the next time you feel tempted to stay seated a little longer, remember that the chair may be stealing more from you than you realize. Choose to rise even for a few minutes, and you choose strength. And speaking of strength, there is another everyday habit that may shock you even more. It involves what you put or fail to put on your plate. When we think about food andaging, most people focus on calories. They try to eat light to avoid weight gain. But what often gets overlooked is protein, the very nutrient our muscles depend on. After the age of 60, the body becomes less efficient at using protein to build and repair muscle tissue. This means older adults actually need more, not less, compared to when they were younger. The National Academy of Medicine notes that while the general recommendation for adults is about 0, 8 gray of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. Seniors often require closer to 10 to 12 g to maintain muscle health. Without it, muscle wasting speeds up, leaving the legs weaker and balance more fragile. Let me share the story of Mrs. Linda, a 70-year-old retired librarian from Texas. For years, she prided herself on eating light and clean. Her meals were full of salads, toast, and fruit. Protein, however, was often missing. She thought meat and eggs were heavy foods best avoided. Gradually, Linda noticed that even though her weight stayed stable, her body felt different. Carrying groceries left her arms trembling, and she stumbled more often on the stairs. Blood work revealed she was falling short on protein, and her doctor explained that her diet was quietly fueling muscle loss. This is not just Linda's story. It is something I see often. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that nearly 40% of older adults in the United States do not meet their daily protein needs, and those who consistently fall short are twice as likely to experience mobility limitations. The scary part is that it happens slowly, almost invisibly, until one day the legs no longer feel steady. The good news is that correcting this does not mean eating giant steaks or expensive supplements. It is about weaving protein into every meal in simple ways. For Linda, the change began with adding a boiled egg to her breakfast, a cup of Greek yogurt as a snack, and grilled chicken or beans at lunch. She also discovered that cottage cheese in the evening gave her body the building blocks it needed overnight. Within a few months, she noticed her energy returning, her steps felt stronger, and her risk of falling dropped significantly. Think of protein as the bricks your body uses to keep its foundation solid. Without enough bricks, the structure weakens no matter how careful you are. By consciously adding lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy, or plant-based proteins like beans and lentils, you are investing directly in your independence. And here is the twist. While food fuels our strength, there is another hidden factor that quietly eats away at muscle and bone from a completely different angle. It is not about what is on your plate, but about something your body desperately needs from the sun. Most people think of vitamin D as the bone vitamin, but its role in maintaining muscle and balance is just as critical. Vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium, keeps the muscles firing properly, and supports the nerves that control movement. Without enough of it, even strong legs can feel weak and achy. A large study from Harvard Medical School found that older adults with low vitamin D levels were more likely to suffer falls, fractures, and muscle pain compared to those with sufficient levels. Take the case of Mr. Robert, a 76-year-old veteran from Florida. Despite living in a sunny state, Robert spent most of his days indoors reading and tinkering with woodworking projects in his garage. He rarely ate fatty fish or egg yolks, and he used sunscreen whenever he went out. Over time, he began to feel a deep ache in his thighs and calves. Climbing stairs became harder, and once he even stumbled on the porch steps. His doctor ordered a blood test which revealed his vitamin D levels were well below normal. That deficiency was quietly undermining his muscle strength and balance. Robert's story is far from unique. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 1 in 2 adults over the age of 60 in the United States has insufficient vitamin D. The consequences can be serious: weaker muscles, slower reaction times, and a much higher risk of falls. And yet, because the symptoms build gradually, tiredness, leg cramps, or vague aches, many seniors mistake them for just getting older. The solution, however, can be surprisingly straightforward. Sunlight is one of the best natural sources. Just 10 to 15 minutes of morning sun exposure on the skin a few times a week can help the body produce adequate vitamin D. For Robert, his doctor also recommended including foods like salmon, fortified milk, and eggs in his diet. In some cases, supplements may be necessary, but only under medical supervision to avoid excessive intake. Within months of making these changes, Robert noticed a renewed spring in his step and fewer aches in his legs. Think of vitamin D as a hidden switch. When it's off, your muscles and bones struggle in the dark. When it is on, your entire system functions with more stability and confidence. So, While a lack of vitamin D may silently chip away at strength, there is another habit that is just as dangerous. This one is not about nutrition or sunlight at all, but about the way you move or fail to move your body in daily life. Walking is wonderful. It keeps the heart healthy, clears the mind, and maintains circulation. But here is the hard truth. Walking alone is not enough to protect aging muscles. What many seniors miss is resistance training, the kind of exercise that asks your muscles to work against a force. Without it, the body slowly loses strength in the thighs, hips, and core, leaving you more vulnerable to falls and less able to rise from a chair or climb stairs. With confidence, science backs this up clearly. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that resistance exercise not only preserves muscle mass but can increase it even in people in their 80s. It is like telling your muscles, stay alive, stay strong, stay ready. Without this challenge, muscle fibers shrink, nerves fire more slowly, and legs that once felt steady begin to tremble under everyday demands. The body adapts to whatever you ask of it. If you ask for very little, it gives you very little in return. The beauty of resistance training is that it does not require a gym. Simple tools such as light dumbbells, elastic bands, or even body weight can make all the difference. Chair squats, standing calf raises, wall push-ups, and rows with a band are powerful foundations performed with slow, controlled motion and a steady breath. These moves wake up both muscles and the nervous system, training the body to react quickly when a curb is higher than expected or the floor is a little slick. Aim for 2 or 3 short sessions per week, 15 to 20 minutes each. Choose 6 to 8 movements that cover legs, hips, core, back, and arms. Do 8 to 12 repetitions that feel challenging by the last 2 reps. Rest 45 to 60 seconds, then repeat for 2 or 3 sets. If you finish easily, increase their assistance slightly next time. If a joint complains, reduce the range, use a lighter band, or sit to stabilize the motion. Progress should feel steady, not painful. Form matters more than speed. Keep your knees tracking over your toes during squats. Squeeze your shoulder blades during rows and brace your belly as if tightening a gentle belt during each lift. Balance drills also count as resistance for the small stabilizers in your ankles and hips. Try single leg stands near a counter or sit to stand without using your hands. Over time, these patterns build stronger bones as well because bones respond to the pull of working muscles by laying down more mineral. Think of resistance training as insurance for your legs. Every repetition is a small investment that returns steadier steps, better posture, and the confidence to carry groceries or play with grandkids. Start small. Log your sessions on Acalendar and celebrate each week you keep the promise to your future self. Now, I would love to hear from you. Do you practice any strength work at home? Type 1 if yes or 0 if no, and subscribe to Dr. Morrison so you never miss practical senior-friendly guidance. As vital as strength training is, there's another habit that quietly undermines muscle and bone across the entire body. It does not start in the gym at all. It starts with smoke. When people think about the dangers of smoking, they usually picture lungs, cancer, or heart disease. But what often gets overlooked is how smoking quietly destroys the very muscles and bones that keep us moving. Nicotine and the other chemicals in cigarettes narrow the blood vessels, reducing circulation to the legs. Less blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the muscles, making them weaker and more prone to cramping. Over time, smoking also accelerates bone loss, raising the risk of fractures and falls. The numbers are sobering. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, smokers lose bone density at a faster rate than non-smokers, and they have nearly twice the risk of hip fractures in later life. Study in the Journal of the American Medical Association reported that older adults who smoked were significantly more likely to suffer mobility problems, even if they had no other major health conditions. That means the simple act of lighting up each day can quietly strip away independence step by step. Consider Mrs. Carroll, a 71-year-old grandmother from Michigan. She started smoking as a teenager and never stopped. By the time she retired, she had smoked for more than 50 years. Carroll noticed her legs felt heavy and sore after even short walks. One evening, she developed a painful cramp in her calf that would not go away. Her doctor explained that her blood flow was severely reduced, a condition made much worse by decades of smoking. Carol's bone scans also revealed early senior health osteoporosis. Her cigarettes had not only harmed her lungs, but also weakened the very foundation of her mobility. Quitting, of course, is not easy. But the benefits begin almost immediately. Within weeks of stopping, circulation improves, delivering more oxygen to the legs. Within months, bone loss slows. Studies show that seniors who quit smoking, even later in life, regain strength faster when combined with healthy diet and exercise. Carol eventually found success by joining a support group and replacing her cigarette breaks with short walks and glasses of water. She also kept sugar-free gum in her pocket, a simple tool to manage cravings. Over time, her stamina returned and the cramps became far less frequent. If smoking has been part of your routine, remember that it is never too late to change course. Each day without cigarettes is a gift to your muscles, bones, and future independence. Your legs, your heart, and your family will thank you. Now, as we bring together all 5 hidden habits, let us step back and look at the bigger picture. Because while each habit weakens the body in its own way, the real danger lies in how they combine slowly but surely to steal away the freedom of movement we all want to preserve. Today, you have seen how 5 simple habits, sitting too much, eating too little protein, lacking vitamin D, skipping resistance training, and smoking can slowly weaken the legs and chip away at independence. The good news is that every one of these habits can be changed, no matter your age. Stronger muscles, steadier steps, and a more confident life are always within reach when you take small, steady actions. Remember, health is not built from a single pill or a single food, but from the lifestyle you choose day by day. You hold the power to protect your future self. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these habits do you struggle with the most? Share your honest story in the comments below. We're at and respond to every message because this community grows stronger together. And if today's conversation gave you hope, please like this video, subscribe to Dr. Morrison, and explore the related videos waiting for you.